I'm so energetic, I need to.
Okay.
The space.
This is mine.
Yeah.
Thank you
I thought you were
for
gonna switch roles.
adjusting.
Oh, okay.
I had to get one of my 1-2 punches.
She's like shaking. She's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Did I do the public service
Okay.
announcement?
All right, Opal. Take it
Ladies
away.
and gentlemen,
Your attention, please.
ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Thank you.
Alright,
That was good.
Do it in.
Yeah. Theater.
that's good. Thank you. Well, this is a new experience. I usually can tell my story one-on-one. This is my first time sharing it in a group. So I'll start off with sharing that Opal Love is my yoga teacher name. I received it through my Kundalini yoga training. And so now, way back when I was 3, you were 4, right? Earlier, you were 4. But the story starts when I was 3. Or actually way before that. I was born in the Philippines, so third world country. And my family wasn't living in the slums, but we weren't rich either, so there was no middle class, so just painting the picture. And so my parents worked a lot and very hard. And when I was 3, I was bit by a mosquito. So, but my parents didn't know yet that I was bit by a mosquito. My uncle on my mom's side was watching me, and I had lots of caretakers, which I'm grateful for. But again, my parents worked a lot. So I got a fever one day when I was 3 years old. My mom said, oh, it's just a fever, it'll go away. On the 7th day of my fever, blood was coming out of my nose, and finally my uncle was like, we gotta take her to the hospital. And so that whole thing happened where I went to different doctors. They brought me to 3 doctors, and finally that doctor said, okay, she needs to stay here. We need to admit her. We don't know what's going on, but she doesn't look good. So I was 3. And so I was at the hospital, did a lot of blood tests, got my finger poked a lot, so I do not like needles to this day. I have to look away when I get shots. So, not the nurse's fault, of course. And so I was at the hospital, and I was starting to be in and out of consciousness, and they were doing lots of tests, and then finally I was like in and out of my body, and I just saw everything all happening all at once. Time collapsed, and it's one of those like moments where there is no time and there is no more 3-year-old mind. It was my spirit coming out of my body, and seeing the doctor telling my parents, your daughter has a 50-50 chance. Seeing my dad had a blood type O universal, so he just kept feeding blood, and that was part of what kept me in my body. And then I saw my mom praying at church profusely. And when I told her as an adult of what I remembered, because they never retold me the story for whatever reason, everything was just like brushed under the rug. Any painful anything in life was brushed. And when I told my mom that I saw her crying at church profusely, she started crying. She's like, how could you know that I went to church? She was like, you were dying at the hospital. And it's because I was shown. I was with my guardian angel, and I was shown all these moments, and I still didn't know if I was staying or going. And then it was the void. It was the void. My spirit just expanded into the void, and my spirit guides, angels, were talking to me telepathically. So there's no language. It's telepathic. It was just this knowing. And that void felt like this unconditional love of beyond my parents, beyond anything. And it's the void is dark. And if you go into the void with fear, it could be overwhelming. If you go into the void with love, that's all you will feel in that space is love. And so my mom was praying, and she told me, or she asked me if I remembered what she was praying to God. And I told her, no, I didn't hear. I just saw you praying and crying. And she told me, she said that what she said was, God, if my daughter is for me, let her stay. And if she's not, then I let her go. And the ironic thing and the surprising thing is when my mom let me go is when I came back into my body. And that gift of surrender and that teaching of surrender has been ingrained in me, and to trust and to let things unfold. And there was a contract, like I was shown my soul contract, and my angels told me that now if you going back into your body in this life experience does not give you a free pass. Just because I felt the unconditional love and the void and the veils releasing, I still had to go through all sorts of trauma, sexual trauma, being in a third world country, witnessing violence like every day, just going out to the store, on the streets. My dad had a shotgun in the master bedroom, and that was normal in the Philippines to protect his family from whatever dangers. And since that time, with the contract and everything, that I would go through so much darkness. And it wouldn't be until I was turned 26 that I would meet my teacher. I was like, that's a long time. And there was a lot of mystery kept. There's just this general soul contract that was shown. But again, it's not English like I'm talking to you. It's telepathically. It's like this imprint, this knowing. And my first half of my life was so dark, so hard. But there was always that light. And my angels promised me that they were going to be with me the whole time. So even if I felt lonely in the human form, because my family didn't understand what I was going through, I went to the unlimited space and then came back into a little body and watched everything like a movie, and there was still pain, and there's still memories that I wish could be erased. But there's purpose to it. Because how could we, or any human being, share the hope of light when we're in the dark if I myself was not in the darkest place and was shown hope and this promise of truth and an expanded family, which you all are. Our souls come into the world knowing and wanting to be here, and the importance of your presence. Every one of you has a purpose in this life. We all came here, like we wanted to be here, right? It was all so exciting. But then all the dark stuff come and we're like, wait, why? Remind me again. So the remembering is there. As long as you have the remembering of why, you will always have that hope, and people will always show up. God shows up in the form of friends, in the form of family, in the form of strangers. And so those traumas got me into a place of depression, self-loathing. I never felt pretty when I was young, ever. And my older half-sister was my bully. So, and I received verbal abuse from being blamed. I don't know, because I was the youngest. I don't know what it was, but I had to go through that and still hold on to the purity of my spirit and my soul. And I'm here to share that our souls, the spirit, is untouched. It cannot be hurt. It cannot be taken from you, no matter what's going on externally. And the pain is here to teach us. And everyone has their own lesson and their own healing so that we can share with each other the joys, expanded joy, expanded light. And one of the main pain points that I went through was in high school when my mom just left one day. It was like an episode in a movie. And that was when I had suicidal thoughts. It was fine. I was in high school. My brother was old. My sister was even older. We're adults. But the only thing is, we had a baby sister. And she was 2. So, in that moment, I didn't understand. It's not until looking back that I now understand that my mother must have been in so much pain and so much loneliness that she just left one day. But I was so mad. I was like, I had to give up all my extracurricular. I liked being at school, I liked my friends, and I didn't like being at home. So that was hard. And I remember calling my best friend at that time. His name is Adrian. And I called him, I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I was just, home didn't feel like home. And he just said, pick up a pen and paper, and he's like, write everything. And that was a gift, because now I love to write, and I love to express myself through writing. So that was also the gift through my journey, is I've always been given a best friend that was like an angel to me. So when you hear someone says you're never truly alone, it is true. You're never truly alone. The world of the unseen, there is actually more of it. There's more space than the physical. And so to go through the darkness, like how much more gratitude I have for the joys in my life and the making sense of it all, and for all my teachers and for everyone, even strangers. I'm like, I don't know who you are yet, but I already love you. I just have this feeling of love and the remembering. And now I'm so grateful because I feel like it was worth it, the journey and the learning and the unlearning. And now it feels stable, like this feels real. I always felt like there was something wrong being at home in this yelling, and it felt like a war zone, and I didn't like coming home. So I would have best friends, and then I would be adopted by their family. But my family still wanted me there for the reasons known and unknown. And so I'm just here to share that any hope of light and brightness and joy into everyone's life, no matter how bad it feels or how dark it gets, we have the observer, which you have the ability to be the observer and feel it all, feel it all in the moment. It's okay. Like mad, if you feel mad, get mad. There's a reason that you feel mad, and then process it and just trust and know that it's all unfolding and you are becoming and you matter. Like you chose to be, we all wanted to be here before we came. Just emphasis on that. We all were like, hey, that looks like fun and really challenging. But we can do it. We're warriors.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's my story. If I could share it in a nutshell,
They're fighting over
that
the
would be
Either of them can have.
that would be my story of my near-death experience.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Opal.
you.
What a blessing to
Yeah.
receive this beautiful story and reminder that we
wanting to be here, and we knew that it's gonna be challenging, but we were saying, yes, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Gratitude through pain.
yeah, so I'm sure everybody has their own story. So I invite you.
Really quickly,
Yeah,
would
okay.
are you open to opening up for questions if anybody
Oh,
has any
oh,
questions?
yeah,
for
yeah,
you?
Oh,
okay.
yeah, let's do
Yeah,
questions
does anybody have any
Any
questions for
questions? Yeah.
Opal about her story or experience?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
What
Okay.
age did you start like remembering? Like, do you remember when you started remembering? Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes. So there was one moment where I was so depressed, I didn't want to go to school or work. I think it was one of those. And I was just blindly like going through the channels, and this guy named Dr. Wayne Dyer says, if you change your thoughts, you change your life. I was like, what? So I watched the whole thing, and I told my dad, that's what I want for my birthday. Go donate the however much dollars you have to donate to get that package on PBS,
Oh no.
on public television.
It's like old school Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
And how old you were?
I was still in high school. I was a senior, so I already had a job, but still kept going to
still
school.
like
Yeah.
a teenager.
Wow.
So
Still, wow.
yeah.
So you started remembering when you were in high school, like what happened when you were 3?
Oh, I've always
Or
known.
you've always
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's sorry. That's
But okay, I
But that was
understood.
good too, though.
Oh, I
like the way-
understood. I thought your question was about the remembering of like
Oh no. I was-
remembering the
both were great.
purpose and like
Yeah.
like since you were 3.
since
because
I was 3.
I
Yeah.
I don't remember when I was 3. Like if I try to think when I was a child,
Yeah, me neither.
I have like pictures of like moments. I remember like a Christmas or like a birthday, but
Yeah.
I don't think I remember like vividly something. But I'm sure this impacted you in such a way that you really like have it all recorded.
Yeah. I wake up with it every day,
Yeah.
not knowing why.
Like, how would you describe your experience versus like everyday reality?
But
Like your experience versus everyday reality.
What's everyday reality?
Like the 3D, like here, being here. Like, you know, how do you compare it? Like, did it feel different, more real, or what? You know, just curious.
you mean like
Like
now or
Versus like in the void, or you know, out of body
When you were 3 and you had that.
when you were 3.
experience.
Yeah.
oh, well, it's indescribable.
Okay.
The closest to it is that unconditional love, like a blanket of unconditional, like divine love.
Something just occurred to me. Avoidance. Like the word void in avoidance.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's like a void in our memory. Because the angel of oblivion does that little thing to seal the soul contract, and that's where we get the divot under our nose and in our chin sometimes. And the depth of them means different things too, based on our individual whatevers. But that's kind of cool, because like you rediscovered like a whole bunch of soul remembrance in the void. You're like, I'm gonna avoid a little less by embracing it more, and then you brought some of it back so that you could handle the darkness and then inspire other people in their resonant circumstances. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And have a lot of fun.
I have a question. You
Yeah.
said that you have the option of going into the void with fear or with love. But like how did you know that you had that option? Like how were you able to differentiate that
Did you do both?
then, and how this is like just out of curiosity, like how did your guardian angel look? Like did it look like a light, or because you said you communicated telepathically, but was it like a light, or was it like like a body, like a being, like
Both. Yeah, a lot of light. It was in the shape of, and most likely because of the images of how angels are depicted, that's already been the picture, but it's mostly light and energy and spirit.
I do like your question is about so how you choose
Fear
to
or
go
love.
with fear or love. I mean, as a tree, what is at which point you? I guess it's how you live your life. If you live a life where you're fearful, that's the energy you carry when you die. But if you live your life in love and surrender, there's a different energy. So I guess that's what I was saying. When you die is how you actually resonated with how you live your life. So you can enter the void with fear or love.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
not
My understanding of it is that the void is for you to feel yourself. You know, so like if you have fear, then you're going to feel
Yes.
that.
Resonate.
But if you have love, you're going to feel that as well.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
my understanding.
Yeah, and it's amplified.
Yeah.
And I was 3, so I was still in my innocence.
So it's for the best interest of them all to let go of fear. So when we die, that's what we meet with instead of go through. Because I think love always going to find us. Even if we lost in the void, the love will be always further. But it might be a little bit more, scary at first. But I think if you open yourself, that's the work we do. Is always open yourself here. Be loving, invite love, and give love, so we can choose that path. And that's, I think, it's a beautiful message that you brought to us. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I loved your reference to Wayne Dyer. Was it?
Yeah.
What was the book you referred to? Was like your thoughts can heal your life?
Oh,
or
it
something
was
like that?
the public television special. It was
Yeah.
like a 2-hour thing. Change your thoughts, change your life.
Yeah.
I think, I read most
And
of
just
these books. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
what you're saying. So if
Yeah.
we're thinking
Yeah.
fearful thoughts, we're creating our life, and we're building that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Come on in.
Good card,
Come
though.
in.
Going to clarify.
Is somebody thinking fearful thoughts?
Come on in. Come on in.
So you're 3, and you were by a mosquito.
No, we
got the
picture. We got the picture.
There
Then
it is.
you felt your soul go into the void, and then from there you saw your mom praying.
I'm 10. What's your name?
So like when you say the void was like darkness, like how would you describe the journey from the void to seeing your mom?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
the void, it just felt like if you were suspended, no gravity, and literally shot out into
Like
space.
darkness, like
Yeah.
blackness.
Space, and there was still the twinkling of light. So if you were just shot up out into the middle of space, like anti-gravity, and no time. Who knows how long I was there in that moment.
And you could only see your guardian angels and darkness, that was it? Or you were able to see other things?
Just the darkness, and it was just me. My angels weren't even there. It could have been 0.5 seconds. It could have been hours in this plane. So it was a totally different dimension.
That's great.
But from there to seeing your mom, what's that bridge? So you were in darkness, right?
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
a moment,
And then when did you see your mom?
and then another moment. It's
And then
like,
so it was like flash.
You don't
Right,
have to-
exactly.
you don't have to escape.
Like a dream. It's like next thing you know, I'm like being shown my mom at church, and then the doctor talking. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, because we're interdimensional
Okay.
beings, especially when we're not in the physical body.
I spoke to a guy today, actually, as it happened, who's in poor health and things at the moment. And he had a heart attack and went into the emergency room and was there for intensive care for 3 days. He was on the edge for a while there. His heart stopped. And he was describing how it felt. And he was going down this corridor. And it was very, very much just similar to what you're describing in the sense that it was non-specific and the time, he had no clue at the time. And then eventually, at some point, and he surfaced. It was okay.
Yeah. And scientifically, I learned that because I also wanted to learn other people's near-death experience stories, and they would make me cry when I watched other people's stories. When something like a near-death experience happens, DMT is naturally released. So you're like at the edge of something. So a natural, like, opening of the mind.
I I had a similar experience with Bufo various, which is similar to DMT, and Samson was helping me, was Silveri. And afterwards, the scary part at the front end was very scary. Felt somehow worse than being dead, which is kind of hard to explain. But anyway, then the rest of it was beautiful. And afterwards, when I would meditate, when I would wake up in the night and go back to sleep, I would get into this horrible reliving of the scary bit. And what Silveri and Samson both advised me to do, which I didn't want to do, was to lean in and to engage and inquire of that horrible thing that I was trying to avoid. And finally I did engage with it, and that took the power out of it. It was fun. Yeah, it worked. But it was very scary for a couple of weeks, being detached from reality.
When you came back to it with Serafina, was it easier to enter into that state?
Yes, but we use it in a slower method, so I didn't have such a scary bit up front.
Gradual instead of a free fall.
Yeah, and each one's been different.
I have another question. Did you ask your mom about the memory?
Yeah, as an adult.
Yeah,
I
she was
talked to
like,
her and I described what I'm describing
Yeah, I
to you,
thought you said
and
that.
she started crying.
And she was like,
And
you were
she's
there.
like, I have the chills.
Like you were there.
Yeah,
Like, it
she's
was
like,
all
how could you
confirmed.
know?
Crazy.
How could you know that?
Crazy.
I do remember too, another point is I was fading in and out at the hospital, and then every soul that has ever witnessed me from birth to 3 entered the room as if like I was ready to go to the other dimension. And then I guess my 3-year-old brain was like, nobody brought cookies. I was like, everyone's here. I was like,
Where's the cookie?
and I do have a sweet tooth, actually. So also that, it's like depth. There's so much depth, like when you experience. So it's so beautiful that we're so open in this time and space that we can open our vessels to experience so much more. Like this life is not meant to be mundane or boring, and we're meant to really be open to each other. And when we see each other for the first time, we have this recognition of, wow, I know you. I can be myself. And let me hug you and hold you for 30 seconds and not feel like a weirdo. Yeah.
Have you been back to that void since?
Void. That is a great question. The closest I've re-experienced it is when I was called to mushroom ceremony. It was a chocolate mushroom, and it was my first time, and I had gained all this knowledge, right? Reading all the books, spiritual, all these teachers, but then that gave me the extra integration of like the oneness. And I felt the oneness. I saw the oneness. I was like, oh wow, this is oneness. Because it's one thing to, yeah.
Beautiful.
Kind of going off of that question, have you had any interactions with like your spirit guides since then?
Always.
Yeah.
They're just always with me. And yeah, my psychic channels have been open. So that was part of the troubling childhood too, is like I became so sensitive. It's almost like I can hear the thoughts of people and their emotions, and I was like so sad for the sadness and so sad for the pain and the anger, and it taught me forgiveness, like a lot, to forgive. There was a lot of, I had to work many years to forgive the,
You're very empathetic.
yes, yeah.
It's amazing. Have you ever heard the podcast Telepathy Tapes?
No, I haven't.
I recommend you listen to it.
What's it called again?
Okay.
Telepathy.
Telepathy tapes.
It's about that, like communicating, like telepathy. It happens a lot. Like the first, I think it's 10 episodes. The first 5 episodes, it's about autistic kids that can communicate telepathically, like across different countries. And then there's one about like connecting with animals. And then the last 2 or 3 are like connecting to spirits. So I recommend you listen to it.
Thank you.
There is no distance.
And Oh, that was okay. So this is a good transition to the gong too, because part of what I am here to share is to bring people as close to that void without it feeling overwhelming. To feel more open, have your vessel be open and receive. So I brought the gong. And that's the closest I've experienced as well is when I've been in a Kundalini yoga class and the teacher plays the gong at the end. That brings me back to that moment too. So if everybody's open to it, you can stay sitting up or laying down.
When do you want to do the, did I get that after that?
Oh, the chant. Oh, should I do the chant?
The group, should we do the group discussion first? I think so, yeah, I think we can still do that, yeah.
Okay, now.
Yeah, it'll just be like 9 minutes.
Okay.
The piano that you were warming up with?
Oh, we're gonna do a group discussion. Yeah, yeah, sure,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay,
Mhm.
so now
We
we are
Should I do
having a
public
little
service?
discussion here with the order.
Should I do the
So,
public service announcement?
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Yes.
This is a public service announcement. Please direct your attention.
So let's thank Opal
Dude.
again being
Yeah, Opal.
Yeah, thank you, Opal.
So beautiful.
story. And thank you for all the questions. So now we have an exciting next sharing that you get to share your awakening story. Whatever moment you pick, there might be multiple of them, but we're gonna come to group of threes and so spontaneously find yourself in a group of three, and then each one of you will have 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes or something, couple minutes to share. Do we 3 or 5?
Let's do 3.
Okay,
Let's
3
do
minutes.
each, yeah.
So you
So you
try to consent,
Yeah.
put your story